Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa de Neil, where I'm about to fight a 2,000-point battle between my Dark Angels and Jason's Imperial Guard with the brand new Astra Militarum Codex. So the story that we've got going on here today is that this regiment of guard were working with who they thought was just an enigmatic Astartes, angel of death, the Emperor's chosen, that was working with them on this planet. But it turns out that the Dark Angels got word that the angel of death that they were working with was a little too enigmatic with his dark power armor and mysterious past. So they sent out a force to go find out what happened, finding out that that in fact it was one of the Fallen that had been working with them. For what purposes, no one knows. But the fact that this guard unit was working with them was enough for the Dark Angels to decide that they could not continue on with whatever knowledge that they may have gleamed. So that is the story. We are going to be playing from the Nephilim GT pack. We are going to be doing the secure sanctuaries. Is it secure? No, missing artifacts. Secure missing artifacts. Essentially, there are 5 objectives on the table here. When we chose our deployment zones, we moved 2 of them. The defender moved 1. My opponent, the attacker moved 1. So my opponent moved 1. I moved 2, and then he moved a 4th one. Essentially, you can move them 6 inches on the table, and then we figured out, secretly chose which objectives were going to be our opponent's special ones, which is, I mean, it's not hard to figure out which ones they're going to be. I have chosen number 4 as the one. You've chosen number 3, which were the 2 that we moved out into the middle of open territory there, so a little bit harder to hold. So essentially, it's hold 1, hold 2, hold more. And if at the end of your turn you control your particular objective that your opponent has declared, you score an additional 3 points. We've also chosen secondaries. I have chosen Stubborn Defiance, which means that if I sit on an objective for 1 turn, 1 command phase, I get 1 point. 2 command phases, 2 points. 3 command phases, 3 points. 4 command phases, 4 points. 5 command phases, 5 points. Easy enough as it goes that way. I have also chosen Raise Banners High, and I've also chosen Oath of Moment, which is the Space Marine one. If I get points for killing a character or vehicle or a monster, he's got no monsters, but he's got plenty of vehicles and characters. I score a point if I did not fail a morale test or fall back, and I score a point for having a unit wholly within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. My opponent has chosen Boots on the Ground as one of his secondaries, which means that he scores a point for every quarter that he has an infantry unit within, wholly within. He also scores a point if he has a regimental standard within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. So a maximum of 5 points per turn if he had it in all 4 quarters and the center there. My opponent has also chosen Assassinate, so he wants to kill my characters to get points for that. And the third one was special orders, special mission and special orders, where he gives basically he does actions on objectives that are outside of his deployment zone. And if he does so, he at the end of the game he scores points based upon how many objectives outside his deployment zone he has done it on, to a maximum of 15 if he gets all 4 of them out there. So that is the secondaries. We are doing the secondaries from the Nephilim book because that's the way you're supposed to do it when you're playing Nephilim. But it is worth noting that the new book does not have any secondaries in it to choose mission or faction-specific secondaries within the Astra Militarum Codex. We're going to be using it with all the new rules. We've even got a new unit in there, which is going to be fun to try them out. So thank you, GW, for sending an advanced copy of the Cadia Army box with the special rules and all that stuff. So getting to show this off for you guys so you get to see what is going on with that. So before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 armies that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Dark Angels, I'll be running a battalion detachment. Leading off that detachment, we have a Primaris Lieutenant, we have Lazarus, and we have a Primaris Chaplain. We have a squad of Infiltrators. We have 2 squads of Intercessors. We have a Heavy Intercessor squad. We have a squad of Assault Intercessors. We have a 6-man Aggressor squad. We have a 4-man Blade Guard Veteran squad. We have a Blade Guard Ancient. We have an Impulsor. We have an Invictus Tactical Warsuit. We have a 4-man Eradicator squad. And last but not least, we've got a Redemptor Dreadnought. So for the Astra Militarum, he'll be running a battalion detachment and a super heavy auxiliary detachment. Leading off the battalion detachment, we have a platoon command squad and a Cadian Castellan. We have 3 Death Corps of Krieg squads. We have 2 10-man Scion squads. We have a Commissar who is definitely not Yark. We have a unit of field ordnance batteries. We have a 2-tank squadron of Vanquishers. We have a 3-tank squadron of Demolishers. And last but not least, we have a Doomhammer. All right, going over deployment here for my Dark Angels. I've got a squad of Intercessors over here on this back corner on this objective over here. I've got an Impulsor. Inside of there, I've got a 4-man squad, my 4-man squad of Blade Guard veterans. I've got my Blade Guard Ancient, and I have my Chaplain, who's inside of that. We have my Redemptor Dreadnought next to them. We've got my Eradicators back behind them. We've got my Lieutenant, and we've got the Glacial Lazarus right over there. We've got a squad of Heavy Intercessors, a squad of regular Intercessors. Then back over here, we've got Assault Intercessors holding the back there from his Deep Strikers. We've got a squad of 6 Aggressors on this side. And up for deploying here a bit, we've got my Infiltrators. And over here, we've got my Invictus Tactical War Suit. Going over deployment now for, so other than the ones in the vehicle, everything is on the board for me. Going over deployment here for the Astra Militarum. We've got a squad of Krieg over here. We've got his Cadian Castellan over here, along with his Commissar that's definitely not Yarick. We've got the squadron of Demolishers over on the line here. Behind them, we have the Platoon Command Squad. Back over here, we've got the Vanquishers. We've got the Ordnance Battery back over here on the objective in the back. We've got his Doomhammer. Inside of the Doomhammer, we have 2 Krieg units in there. The reason I'm saying Krieg units is specifically now the way it works here. You can choose an infantry squad, but you can also choose a Krieg squad, which gets special rules and different abilities. You can also do a Cadian squad, a Cadian shock troop squad. You can also do Catachan jungle fighters as specific different units, but they're all troop choices that you can do. So it's pretty fun to be able to mix and match with that. So like I said, there's 2 more Krieg units inside of there, and then in Deep Strike he has his 2 10-man Scion squads. So that is going to be it for deployment. We will now roll off to see who will have initiative going into turn number 1. My opponent rolled a 5, I rolled a 4, so it will be going to the Astra Militarum here on turn number 1. All right, movement phase here for the Astra Militarum on turn number 1. It's also worth noting that they did orders during the command phase, because that's when orders are given now. So my opponent has a bunch of units that can give orders. He's given a tank ace ability to his Doomhammer that allows him to give, what's it called again? It's like...
mechanized orders.
Well, yeah, but he can give mechanized orders, but what's the tank ace ability? Is it like... Valorous Praetorian or something like that. Something like that. Valorous Praetorian. Essentially, it's a tank ace ability. It gives them the ability to give 1 mechanized order. What is it? Vaunted Praetorian. Gives them the ability to give a mechanized order. It's also worth noting that usually you have to have an officer that gives an order, and the specific one that they have. So like tank commanders can give mechanized. Commissariat orders come from commissars. And then you have regimental orders. Is it regimental or platoon orders? Regimental orders come from basically everyone else. And they say which ones you can do, but you also, you have to issue the order to a specific one. So mechanized ones have to go to squadron units, which are basically vehicle units, but not super heavies. They don't have the squadron rule. And neither do the tank commanders. And the same thing with the officers. They don't have the platoon rules, so they keywords, so they cannot give orders to themselves. But this one in particular does not specify that they can only give the order to that one, because it specifies in the order of command, because it just says that they can give an order to one. If it is a super heavy model, the unit selected the order can be given to a super Astra Militarum Titanic unit, which he is himself. So he's going to give it to himself. He ordered himself pound them to dust. He also gave a relic to his Castellan to allow his Castellan to give up to 3 orders instead of just the 2, and he also can give any of the 3 different types of orders that he wants.
He picked, so he can't. He does regimental, but it allowed me to pick another.
Oh, pick another type. So he picked mechanized. So he's doing mechanized and regimental, as opposed to he could have chosen commissariat if he wanted to, but Yeah, but he did not. So he's not going to do that one. So you check mechanized where they have there. So he gave the order of pinning fire to this demolisher over here. He also gave gunner's kill on sight to this vanquisher over on this side, and he ordered move to this squad of Krieg up over here. And move is changed. So move now, either if you make a normal move, you get 2 extra inches to your movement, so you can move a base of 8, or if you advance, you just get the auto 6, so you can advance 12 inches without having to worry about that. So they just moved up and moved 8 inches up into this table quarter here for getting boots on the ground, which is pretty good. So they moved up there to get boots on the ground. Along came this vanquisher beside him, the castellan beside him as well. The commissar is getting stuck in the middle of all of this craziness in the middle over here, where all these tanks are starting to move into position, including the Doomhammer. But before the Doomhammer moved, this squad of infantry disembarked, moved onto the objective over here. This platoon squad moved so that they are within 12 inches of them to allow them to do their special orders. And then back over here, these guys just stood still because that's what they do. They have the ability to ignore line of sight with this specific gun. There's like 3 different options. There's a missile launcher, heavy las cannon, and the bombard here. And the bombard can ignore line of sight. So that's it for the movement phase here for the Astra Militarum. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so now these bombast field guns are going to fire, and they're going to fire into my intercessors back over here. My opponent has spent 1 CP because he's chosen as his regimental. He's just kept the born soldiers, which is basically the FAQ that they got where they 6s to hit auto wound. So he's kept that, but there's a specific stratagem called ingrained precision, which allows a born soldier unit to actually fire and auto wound on 5s to hit instead of just 6s to hit. So these bombast field guns are going to fire into these guys over here. We're playing with the we're basically playing with that they're going to keep the FAQ stuff for now because we're not sure what they're going to drop yet because they haven't said anything about it. And like Armor of Contempt stayed on the Chaos Space Marines and stuff like that. So not sure what they're going to do with that, if they're going to keep all of their special rules, because there's nothing in here that talks about it other than the Born Soldiers. So we know that's going to be taken out because you have to choose to stay with Born Soldiers or replace it with another regimental ability. So we're going to stay with it that they don't suffer the -1 for not seeing a unit that they fire on, as Astra Militarum stuff does, because I don't know. I mean, we'll see how this goes. So it's going to be 2d6 here. Shots, because it's d6 shots each. So that's going to be 8 shots coming in from them over here. These are going to be hitting on 4s.
Yep.
5s and 6s, though, to hit auto wound because of the stratagem that my opponent spent. Alrighty. So it's going to be 3 auto wounds there. And then 1 non-auto wound, but that will wound on a 6. So that's going to be 4 wounds here. AP -2 becomes AP -1 for the purposes of Armor of Contempt. Was that 4 or 3? Was it?
It was 4.
4. So AP -1, so looking for 4 up saves onto my intercessors over there. Making all but 1, so it's 2 damage apiece, so it's going to kill one of my intercessors. All right, so now this squad of Kriegmen are going to fire into my Invictor Warsuit over here. So again, he's got born soldiers, so he's going to be auto wounding on 6s. So we're going to go with the las cannons. He wishes. Las guns. And the crack grenade from his grenade launcher here that's going to fire. He's also going to fire a melter, but we'll do that after the other ones. So these are going to be hitting on 4s.
I'm going to reroll 1s.
Reroll 1s because the Castellan gives reroll 1s to hit with the Castellan there. All right. And then these are going to be, remember, 6s auto. I didn't see any 6s actually. So it's just going to be there. So these are now strength 3. So looking for 6s to wound. Okay. Getting 1 wound over here. AP nothing. So it's going to be a 3-up save. Of course, he takes a wound.
Right.
And the Meltagun is going to fire over here. 5 will hit. Not an auto wound because he didn't spend the CP on this unit.
What a shame.
But still looking for a 3 to wound. And that'll wound there. AP -4 becomes AP -3 because of Armor of Contempt. So I need
6s.
a Fill Face to save him. No, the opposite of a Fill Face. Cool. He's really doing really well with his armor over here. D6 +2 because he's within half range. 3 wounds. And my opponent's going to spend a CP to reroll that. He was not happy with that result. I get it. Hey, you doubled your output there. So that's going to be 4 damage to him. All right, so now his Vanquisher here is going to fire into my Invictor Warsuit over here. He does have Gunner's Kill on sight, which gets to reroll 1s to hit. So we're going to go with the heavy bolters first, or no? Oh yeah, we can do both. So
this is only heavy 1.
It's heavy 1 now. Okay, there we go. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. We're hitting on 3s because it's turret weapons is a new thing. The turret weapons get +1 to hit, so they're going to be hitting on 3s. But everything else is going to be hitting on 4s. Okay, good thing. Turret weapon already came out. Reroll 1s because of Gunners in sight.
Misses.
Nope, not meant to be. It's going to be, what's the damage? Strength 10?
I think this is going to be 14.
Strength 14, so that's going to be wounding on 2s.
This is 14, the rest of them are 5s.
Gotcha, so wounding on 2s, and the rest are going to be wounding on 5s. Alrighty, so we've got the 1 Vanquisher, and we've got 2 heavy bolters.
How many wounds do you have left?
8 wounds.
Vanquisher's going to do it outright.
What's the AP?
AP's -5.
AP -5, so that's going to go straight through.
D6 plus 6 plus D3 damage.
6 plus D3. Okay.
So that's 7 damage minimum.
Yep.
And
Vanquisher. Straight damage 6 plus D3.
It says each time an attack is made with this weapon, if the attack successfully wounds, which it did, invulnerable saves cannot be made against the attack.
Oh, no invulnerable
target
saves?
Suffers D3 additional mortal wounds, which is a minimum 8 wounds.
Oh, so yeah, D3 additional mortal wounds. So it's D3 additional mortal wounds, cannot take invul saves. It's so 6 plus D3 plus D3 mortal wounds. Yeah, so he is definitely dead. Does he explode, though? No, he does not. And now his Demolisher over here with pinning fire is going to fire into my heavy intercessors. He's going to choose the heavy intercessors as the infantry unit for his orders there. Essentially what happens if he gets 5 or more hits on them, they'll be -2 to their movement. He can only fire at them, so if he had a hull weapon that he wanted different or anything, he would have to fire at them and he couldn't choose anyone else with that. So he's going to have D6 shots with the Demolisher here. Going to have 1 shot here. This is going to be hitting on a 3 because it's a turret weapon. Nope, not going to hit. And now this Demolisher over here is going to fire into my infiltrators over there. So again, D6 shots. That's going to be 3 shots, hitting on 3s again because of turret weapon. That is going to be 2 hits, wounding on 2s. That is going to be 2 wounds. AP -3, you said?
Yep. So
it's going to be AP -2. These are going to be looking for 5-up saves. Failed both of them, but they have the Helix Gauntlet, so one of them will go down to 0. The other one is, what's the damage?
D3 plus 3.
D3 plus 3, so it's going to be kill a guy. And his third Demolisher here is going to fire into my heavy intercessors. D6 shots. You get 5 shots, a little bit better than his friend. That's fine. These are going to be hitting again on 3s. All right, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3 hits. Again, wounding on 2s because of strength 10. That is going to be 2 wounds. AP -3 becomes AP -2. They are looking for 5-up saves. Making 1, failing 1. It's D3 plus 3, right? So minimum 3, that will kill a guy. All right, so the Doom Hammer is going to fire now. He's going to fire everything into my Dubras over here. He is going to fire with them. We're going to do, actually, let's do the main gun first because you do have Pound Them to Dust, which gives them, for blast purposes, counts them as twice as many models. So because there's 6 of them there, it's going to count as 12. So he's going to get the full blast on his big gun over there. But everything's going to be firing them. I did spend 2 CP on transhuman physiology because I got 6 models in the unit instead of 5. So it cost me an additional CP. But I actually didn't take any warlord traits or relics with this squad, with this force. So I've got a ton of CP to spend, which was my thinking on this. So yeah, everything's going to be firing into him over here. These are going to be the main gun, right? So what is it? Is it 2d6?
D6 plus 3.
D6 plus 3 blast. So it's going to be 9 shots coming in over here. These are going to be hitting on 3s because it also counts as a turret weapon.
It does.
Okay, all but 1 hit, or all but 2 hits. There we go. That's an auto wound there on that 6. These are now going to be looking for 4s to wound because of transhuman physiology. Made a big difference because all those 2s would have been wounds. So that's going to be 2 wounds over here. AP, what is it?
5.
AP 5. So that's going to go straight through. So that's just going to kill 2 guys because it's minimum 3 damage on these, right?
It's minimum 5.
Minimum 5 damage. So yeah, you killed 2 of them just straight up there, which is pretty brutal. All right, here come the heavy bolter shots that are coming in here. Hitting on 3. Oh, no, not 3s. These are hitting on 4s because these are not turret weapons. So I'm going to have one more 3 over here. And then these are strength 5, toughness 5. Those 6s auto wound. Strength 5, toughness 5, so 4 is to wound. Well, okay, there you go. That's how you do that.
3, 6, 9.
So that's going to be 9 wounds that are going to be coming into me over here. AP minus 1 becomes AP 0. You said 9 of them?
Yep.
All right. So we've got 9 3-up saves. Failing 3 of them, so 1 will be dead and 1 will be down to 1 wound. And here comes his 2 las cannons. Getting 2 hits. One of them's on auto wound. The other one's looking for a 3. Nope, not going to wound on that one. AP minus 3 becomes AP minus 2. 5-up save. Not going to make it on that one, so that's just going to kill the guy with 1 wound left. And now his Vanquisher back over here is going to fire into my aggressors as well. So we'll do the main gun first. Hitting on a 3 because it's a turret weapon. That is a hit. Wounding on a 4 because of transhuman.
Too bad I didn't get a 6.
Yeah, 6 for auto wounds there. But it doesn't matter when you get the 5 there, so that is a wound. AP minus 4, is it again, on the Vanquisher? On the Vanquisher?
5.
AP minus 5, so that's just going to go straight through. What's the damage?
A dude.
Minimum 3, so that's going to kill a guy.
Yeah, it's 7 damage plus the D3 mortals.
Oh, sorry.
D3 mortals.
Yeah, you can do D3 mortals. Oop, that fell off.
3 mortals.
Plus 3 mortals, so that actually kills the whole unit. Pretty good. All right, and that's going to be it for the Astra Militarum turn here. Pretty good. Focusing down a transhuman squad of 6 aggressors is no small feat there. So he was able to just obliterate them, which is pretty handy. So that is going to be it for the movement for the turn here for the Astra Militarum. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn number 1. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn number 1. My Blade Guard veterans, as well as my Blade Guard Ancient and my Chaplain, disembarked from my Impulsor up here, so they're within just under 8 inches away from his Dubra over here. They stayed behind the obscuring cover back over there. My Redemptor shuffled around a bit to get some line of sight down over here while still protecting himself from all this nastiness over here. These guys moved on to the objective over here. My Intercessor squad is raising the banners. This Intercessor squad back here is raising the banners. And my Eradicators move so they can get some line of sight down this way as well. And these guys moved over here onto the objective and they're going to try to shoot some people off. So that's the plan. All right, so that's going to be it for the movement phase. At the beginning of this shooting phase, I'm actually going to spend 2 CP to have him say the Canticle of Hate over there. So he's going to inspire with that so they can get a +2 to their charge after he got out of there. So I spent the 2 CP on that. So these are all the reasons why I didn't want to spend too many CP at the beginning. I figured I would just spend them when we get into here. So like I said, that's the end of the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so my Blade Guard now here are going to start us off in the shooting phase. 3 of them are in range of his squad over here. They're going to fire their heavy bolt pistols. So 3 shots, hitting on 2s because they're within 6 inches of the Blade Guard Ancient. All right, that's going to be all hits here. These are going to be wounding on 3s. That is going to be, 1 second, let me see. I'm actually within 6 inches of my lieutenant over there, so reroll 1s to wound. There we go, that's going to be 3 wounds at AP -1 into his infantry over here.
So they are 5-ups.
5-up saves. Would be 4s, become 5-ups. 1 will die.
No, he won't.
Oh, no?
I have Medipack and it's reduced.
Oh, Medipack will reduce that down to damage 0 there, so he will be fine. Stormbolters from my Impulsor is going to fire into them as well. That is going to be 2 hits. That is going to be 1 wound. AP minus nothing. Yeah, Storm nothing, so good to go. And now my heavy intercessors are going to fire into them as well. We're going to go with the heavy bolter first, hitting on 4s because he moved. Going to be 1 hit there. And then we'll just do the 2 other shots from the heavy bolt rifles I can see. That's going to be 2 hits from them. These are now going to be wounding on 3s. That is going to be 2 wounds at AP -1. So 6s. Nope, that's going to be 2 dead guys. Now my Redemptor is going to fire. He's going to put his Stormbolters into this infantry squad, and he's going to put the Macroplasma into his big boy over here. My opponent, it does have smoke keyword, and he's got a stratagem to pop smoke that makes him -1 to hit. So he's going to be using spend his CP for that. So I'm going to be firing in here. These are going to be the Stormbolters hitting on 3s because they're not -1 to hit. Rerolling 1s because Lazarus is over there. He's core, so that's going to be 4 hits. Looking for 3s to wound. All right, that's going to be 3 wounds. AP nothing. So 4 ups.
Yeah, it's 5.
5 ups. There we go. So that's going to be 1 save. 2 saves, 1 dead. You get what I mean. And now into the Vanquisher over there. I am going to supercharge it, so it's going to be D6 shots. 1 shot. I'm going to spend a CP to re-roll that.
Go ahead, spend that CP.
That's going to be 4 shots. Hitting on 4s because he's -1 to hit. Re-rolling the 1. Nope, not meant to be there. There we go. We'll take a mortal there. And then these are going to be strength 9, so looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds. At AP -4, goes down to -3 because we're going with these, like I said, we're keeping the until we know what's going to be taken away. We're going to keep the armor contempt on vehicles and such.
Hammer of the Emperor just turned into blood
yeah,
soldiers.
exactly. So we got that. So this is going to be 2 at 6 ups. Oh, no, 5 up saves because he got a 2 up armor. Makes 1, fails 1, so that's going to be 3 damage. And then my infiltrators over here are going to fire into his infantry squad over there. 8 shots from them, hitting on 3s. Okie dokie. That's 6 auto wounds because they got the marksman. That's what they've got. These are now going to be wounding on 3s. That's going to be all wounds there. That's really good. So that's 6 wounds over here. So 6 5 up saves. Fails all but 1, but one of them is going to be taken away because of the meta pack on that one, so 4 of them will be dead. And now my Eradicators are going to fire into his Demolisher over on the side over there. So it's going to be, we'll go with the Multi-Melted first, hitting on 4s because he's -1 to hit with a heavy weapon here. Rerolling 1s because of Lazarus. Okay, not meant to be on that one. And we'll just do these all together. And then I'm going to do the other 6 shots from the Melta rifles there. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. All right, so these are all going to be strength 8, so looking for 4s to wound. Alrighty. Do reroll that 1. Nope, that's not meant to be. So that's going to be 4 wounds over here. AP minus... oh, I should have done the difference. We're going to do 4s because I should have done the heavy one would have been AP -5 because of that. But I messed up there because of doctrines. It's all good. So we're going to go over here. These are going to be looking for...
they're not all heavy.
Yeah, they're not all heavy. The others are assault. Yeah. So these are going to be looking for... We're just going to do it, pretend it, because I messed up. That was my bad. These are going to be looking for 3s, so 5s to wound. 5s to save. Making 1. So it's going to be 3d6 damage. Getting 6, 7, 8, 9 damage into him over there. All right, so into the assault phase now. My Blade Guard are going to charge into his Demolisher over here. My opponent is going to spend a CP to Overwatch over here. So we've got D6 shots with his turret gun, or do you want to do the Flamer first? Which one do you want to do? We'll do the Flamer first, D6 hits. That's going to be 6 hits. There we go. These are going to be heavy Flamer, right? So strength 5, looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. AP -1, but their storm shields make it AP 0, and they are in cover over there, so we're looking for 2 up saves. Fail 1 of them, so 1 will take 1 wound, and then you've got the main gun. That's going to be 5 shots, not bad. These are going to be hitting on 6s. 1 hit.
Auto wound.
And it's an auto wound because it's 6 to hit auto wound. So it's going to be a 4-up invul save because it's AP. Oh no, AP -3.
-3.
So it becomes 2.
-1 with your.
Yeah, so it's a 4 ups regardless. Yeah, 4 ups regardless. Makes it on that one. Woo! All right, so they're just under 8 inches away over here. So that means that they need a 7-inch charge. They get +2 to their charge because they're within 6 inches of my dude bro over here who did the Canticle of Hate. So we're looking for a 5-inch charge to make it. And they will definitely make it on an 8. Sounds good. And then these guys, my infiltrators, are going to charge into his infantry squad here. I need a, what did he say? 6-inch charge to get in over here. I just said it to my opponent and immediately forgot it because that's how my brain works.
8.
8. Oh, Inception! No. With the fill face he's in. All right, so we're going to start over here with my Blade Guard veterans into his Lehman Russ over here. So they're going to have 3 base attacks. The sergeant has 4 base attacks, and they get +1 because they charged over here. I did spend 1 CP on Gene Wrought Might. That means 6 is to hit, auto wound. because he's got tough 8, so I want to try to get a bunch in there. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. 6s. No, 1 6. So 1 auto wound. Oh, 2 auto wounds. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Hitting on 3s. Get those out of there. That one was not a 3. All right. These are going to be strength +1. So strength 5, looking for 5s to wound. Okay, that's going to be additional 4, so a total of 6 wounds over there. These are going to be AP minus 3. 1 second. Yeah, I think they were -3. These are going to be AP -3. So looking for
4 ups with armor.
4 ups with armor of contempt over there. Failing 4 of them, so that's going to be 2 damage apiece. So that's going to be 8 damage into them. And then my infiltrators are attacking into his Kriegsmen over here. 13 attacks, hitting on 3s. Okay. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at AP nothing. So you got 6 5-ups. Making 2, so 4 more will be dead. All right, so now his Lehman Russes are going to attack back over here. So we've got 2 D6, we'll just do both at the same time. So that's going to be 10 attacks coming in here. Is D6 attacks, not D3? Wow.
It's flat 6, D6, D3.
Wow, okay. Hitting on 6s, though?
Yep.
Okay. Getting 2 hits, strength.
Which I believe Born Soldiers is only in...
I think it's shooting, yeah. So what's the strength of these?
7.
Strength 7, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 2 wounds. AP on this or anything?
Nope.
No AP on nothing? All right, so looking for 2 up saves because of their storm shields. Failed 1. 1 damage or 2 damage? 1. All right, still alive.
This one.
All right, so that's going to be the end of the turn here for Dark Angels. My opponent does have some leadership tests to take over here, so he's got this squad over on this side. And on a 3, he's good to go. And this squad lost 8, so you have to have a 1 or it's failed. Nope, that's going to fail. And then on a 1 or a 2, no, the other guy will stick around. So 1 guy will stick around. There you go. Fair enough. There we go. So that's going to be it for the turn here for the Dark Angels. I did score 2 points for Oath of Moment. I scored 1 point for Stubborn Defiance, and what was the other one I did? Oh, and 2 banners were raised. I raised banners over on this one and on this one. So that's going to be it for the turn here for the Dark Angels. We'll come back to you after a movement phase for the Astra Militarum here on turn number 2. All right, movement phase for the Astra Militarum, as well as their command phase stuff. We'll talk about their orders. This unit over here was given the order to for full throttle, allowed him to advance. He was back over here, and he advanced around over this side. Will still be able to shoot as if he remained stationary. Gunner's kill on sight was given to this guy over here, who just did his normal move over this side. It's worth noting the Castellan has his Warlord trait, which allows him to do mechanized orders as well as the platoon orders. Platoon orders specify that if you give a platoon order, you have to be within 6 inches. But it says when you give a mechanized order, you have to be within 12 inches. And there's nothing in any of the powers that give him the ability to do mechanized that changes that. So we assume that he can just do his mechanized orders, even though he's a platoon guy and not a tank, within 12 inches, because that's just how mechanized orders work. So he was able to do that. He also, these guys were given the order because they have a Vox, and the platoon command squad also had a Vox. They were able to give them the order because within 24 inches, because that's how Voxes work. The ability to move. So they advanced their full 6 inches. So they moved 12 inches up the board over on this side. The shock and awe was given over here onto this guy who is in engagement range over here. Because the thing is that their turret weapons can actually fire out of combat. So they're blast weapons. Blast weapons say you cannot fire at a unit you are engaged with. But the turret weapons allows them to fire at a unit that is out of engaged weapon with their turret weapons. So he's going to be able to fire, even though they're stayed in combat over here, they'll be able to fire their turret weapons at units that are outside of engaged. They still have the -1 to hit because of heavy and being engaged, but they do not have to worry. They can actually fire out of combat, which is nice. He kind of shuffled around a bit to make some room so that his commissar can make his way over this way. The command squad over this side advanced up the board over here. This unit disembarked from the Doomhammer over on this side, who just kind of backed up a little bit again to make some room. These guys stayed still where they were. And this guy over here advanced back to get into this table quadrant over here for boots on the ground. Oh, and it's worth noting, Scions dropped in 9 inches over here. Scions dropped in 9 inches away over there. That's where they are. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase. I forgot the shock and awe. The reason I was mentioning this, they can shoot their turret weapons. That's why he stayed engaged, because it wasn't worth falling back and not being able to shoot, because he'll be able to shoot his turret weapons. But shock and awe actually allows them to be to gain obsec. So he actually controls the center objective here, even though he had less models on it during his command phase, because they became obsec in his command phase, and therefore he held it there, taking it away from my 4 guys over here. So it made him 8 points as opposed to 4 points on the primary, which is pretty good for an order that he can give 12 inches away from a Dubro. Pretty nice. Makes them kind of interesting. It makes it kind of interesting. I like that. I like that. So that is, again, it. So we'll come back to you again, like I said, with the shooting phase. All right, so now his demolishers. We're going to do these guys both at the same time, because he's going to put the 2 flamers into my Blade Guard veteran there, heavy flamers, and then he is going to put the 2 turret weapons into my Dude Bros, the infiltrators over on this side. It's also worth noting that this guy also has gave himself Gunner's Kill on sight. I just forgot, because we don't have a second card that didn't come with that. So, because different officers can give the same order, the same officer can't give the same order twice. So here we go. We're going to do the flamers first. So it's going to be 8 hits over here. These are going to be strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. Okay, so there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds over here. All right.
-1 doesn't matter.
AP -1 becomes AP 0 because of the storm shields there, so 3 up saves. And I make them all! And then we'll do both turret weapons in there, so it's going to be 2d6 shots. So it's going to be 6 total shots. They're going to come in over here. These are going to be hitting on 4s. Oh no, because they're middle profile, so it would be...
So...
5s, right?
Profile, which makes it 4s. -1 because I'm in combat, so 5.
5s, yeah. So he's going to be hitting on 5s because he's engaged with a heavy weapon. Still getting 3 hits, one of which is an auto wound, and then strength 10, right?
Which
so wound on 2s. So that's going to be 3 wounds. AP -3, so it's going to be 3. Becomes -2, so 3 5-up saves. Make one of them becomes 0, and then one of them will kill a guy. And now the last demolisher over here is going to fire into them as well. It's going to get 6 shots. That's how you do that. He's at full profile, so he's going to be hitting on 3s. Okay, all but 2 hits, but no auto wounds, but wounded on 2s. Getting 1 wound over there. Again, AP 3 becomes AP 2, so 5-up save. And I'm good. Woo! All right, so now his Doomhammer is going to fire. My opponent's going to spend 1 CP on Ingrained Precision, which makes his Born Soldiers auto wound on 5s to hit, which is pretty good. He is going to fire into my Eradicators, who I'm going to spend a CP on to do Transhuman here. So here comes the big gun here, D6 plus 3. So it's going to be 8 total shots, which is really, really good. So these are going to be hitting on 3s, auto wounding on 5s.
And I'll reroll 1s.
Rerolling 1s because he had Gunner Kill on sight. Okay, not meant to be on that, but that's still a lot of auto wounds there, which is pretty good. And then wounded on 4s because of Transhuman.
Oh, right.
There you go, nothing on those. So it's going to be 4 wounds. Yeah, that's why you did that. So that's 4 wounds there. AP 5. This just goes straight through. That just kills all 4 guys there.
It does.
Well, okay. So that's how you do that. And now these guys are going, the ordnance are going to fire into these guys back over here. So it's going to be 2d6 shots.
11.
Ooh, 11 shots. That's how you do that. These are going to be hitting on 4s. Okay, 6s auto wound. So there's a couple auto wounds in there. Ooh, that counts. Don't worry. 2, and then we've got 4 that are looking for 3s to wound, strength 7.
That is
additional 3. So it's going to be a total of 5 wounds over here. AP -2, which becomes, was it 5 you said, right?
Yes.
AP -2 becomes AP -1, so looking for 4-up saves. Failing 2 of them, that's 2 dead. All right, this unit over here of Scions is now going to fire into my heavy intercessors. So he's got 2 plasma, 2 melta, because you can only take 2 of each now, and then a bunch of hotshot las guns. So we're going to go with the meltas first. All right, so we're going to have 2 shots with a melta here, hitting on 3s or 4s?
It's 3s.
It's on 3s.
They are special boys.
Cool. So that's going to be 3 hits. They also get a special rule. They get an additional hit on 6s. So it's going to be 3 hits out of the 2 shots there, with the 6 being an auto wound. So it's going to be 2 wounds. At AP -4 becomes AP -3. So AP -3, 6s. Looking for 6s. Making 1, failing 1, D6 damage, because you're not in half range. 5 will kill a guy. All right, so now the plasma are going to go. He is going to supercharge, so the big ones are one guy, the small ones are another guy. Hitting on 3s, so one guy will be dead, but the others will hit. These are going to be strength 8, so 3s to wound. Doing 1 wound there. AP -3 becomes AP -2, so looking for a 5-up save. And I make it. And now the last shots, including hotshot las pistol and hotshot las guns. Hitting on 3s, 6s auto wound and explode. So those other 3, count them as extra hits in there. Looking for
I need 5s.
5s to wound. Yeah, because they're tough 5. So that's going to be 5 total wounds in there. What's the AP?
I need 5s either way. -2.
AP -2 becomes a -1. So looking for 4-up saves. Failed 1 of them.
Damage.
And now this other Scion squad is going to fire. The 2 meltas are going to fire into my Redemptor, and then everything else is going to fire into my Chaplain over here. So we're going to go with the meltas first. That's going to be 2 hits and an extra hit. That's going to be 3 wounds total there. AP -4 becomes -3, so looking for 6-ups. I don't think he has an invul save. No, I don't think so. So 6-up saves. Not making any of them. 3d6. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, he did. I think that's him. He did. All right. Does he explode? Nope, he does not. And everything else into my Chaplain over here. We're going to go with the 2 plasmas first. Supercharging. All right, so one of those guys will be dead.
Take 2.
But one will be a miss, but he gets an extra hit because of the 6, right?
Yep.
And then that's going to be 2 more wounds over there. So 3 total. AP -3 becomes AP -2. So 4-up invul save because of his Rosarius. Making 2 of them, so he'll take 2 damage. And here comes the las weaponry.
The hot shot.
Okay, hot shots. So a couple misses there. 1 auto wound plus an explosion.
I'm not going to re-roll the plasma that I did earlier, but they are within 6 inches of that.
Oh, they're within 6 inches of there. No, re-roll the plasma. Yeah, we'll re-roll the plasma.
Plasma.
Yeah, the plasma.
It hit.
It is hit. See if it wounds. That does wound.
Okay.
But I make the save. There we go. Can't change the past, but we got it right. So that's going to be that 6. The 2 misses here with the 1s, because they're within range of the Castellan.
Yep.
So an extra hit there. These are now going to be wounded on 5s.
1, 2, 3. So 4 total.
4 total over here. AP -1 essentially after Arm of Contempt.
Yep.
So 4s takes another 2 damage. Okay. And then the one guy with the melta gun over here who advanced with them, so he's going to be hitting on a 5. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Nope.
No hit there.
That is 5 bolters first.
All right, so now his Vanquisher over here is going to fire. Heavy bolters into my Chaplain, and then he's going to put the Vanquisher into my Lieutenant because I'm not near anything that can give me character protection, which is unsettling.
Redemptor's gone.
So we're going to do the heavy bolters first. Yeah, the Redemptor just died, fell over there. So hitting on 3s. Oh, 4s, that's right. Heavy bolters, so looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds. AP -1 becomes AP 0, so 2 3-up saves. Making them both with fill faces. Woo! And then the 1 shot into my Primaris Lieutenant. That is a hit and a wound. AP minus what?
5.
Oh, AP minus 5.
Ignores
Yeah.
invulns.
Ignores invul save, and it's minimum
It's
Is it minimum?
D6 plus 3 plus D3 mortal wounds.
Well, mortal wounds I can get a save on. So let's try that. We actually have to play this out. So it's going to be D6 plus 3 damage.
I'll pull it up. Vanquisher. Oh, 6 plus D3.
Oh, 6 plus D3. No, then he is dead. Yeah, he's straight up dead. And now the next guy with the full throttle over here, he's going to put his heavy bolters into my chaplain, and then the Vanquisher gun into the Glacial Lazarus over there. So we're going to do the heavy bolters first. Hitting on 3s, because he's at his full there. Those 6s auto wound. There's 1, 2 over there. And then these are going to be looking for 3s to wound. Getting an additional 3, so it's a total of 6 wounds into him over there.
3 ups.
3 ups. Oh, and he's dead. And then into the Glacial Lazarus over here. 2 does not hit and cannot reroll. All right. Into the assault phase, his scions here are going to charge into my heavy intercessors. I'm going to spend a CP to Overwatch here, so we're going to go with the heavy bolter first. No hits there. And then I'm going to do the 2 regular bolters there. Getting 1 hit. That is not a wound. So go ahead, sir. You need a 9-inch charge to get in. No, not with a 6. All right, so into the fight phase over here. I am going to activate first with my Blade Guard veterans. I'm going to spend a CP on Gene Rot Might, so 6 is to hit auto wound. I'm going to have the 3 regular guys go into the 4 wound tank, and then my 1 sergeant going into the 5 wound tank over here. We'll do the sergeant first, so he's going to have 4 attacks base. He didn't charge or was charged, so no extra attacks here. These are going to be hitting on 2s because they did not move in the previous movement phase. That's going to be all hits, and the 6 is going to be an auto wound. And then we have looking for 5s to wound. Getting an additional wound, so that's going to be 2 at AP minus 3.
Goes to -2, so...
So -2, so looking for a 4-up saves. Making them both on that guy, which is pretty good. For him, not for me. And then we are going to have 9 attacks coming in from the other guys into the 4 wound tank over there. Again, hitting on 2s. Okay, missing 1, 2, but getting 2 auto wounds in there. And then 5s and 6s. No, 1 more extra. So it's going to be 3 total. AP minus 3 becomes AP minus 2. Oh, fails all 3 of them. So that is going to be a dead tank.
Which one was it?
The 4 wound one. Does it explode? Nope. Does not explode. So it is just dead. And now he will get to attack into me over here. D6 attacks. That's going to be 4 attacks in here. Hitting on 6s. Get no hits there. All right, so that's going to be it for the Astra Militarum turn here. And that is going to be it for their turn. So he does have boots on the ground for 4 points because he's got an infantry unit in here. He's got this guy over here. And then he's got the regimental standard within 6 inches of the center there. Getting him 4 points for boots on the ground, and then this unit completed their special orders for their 2nd time out there, getting that one, and should be good to go. And then he also killed 2 of my characters for 6 points in that. So that's going to be it for the Astra Militarum turn. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn number 2. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn number 2. Lazarus is making his way over this way, looking to charge into some guardsmen over on this side. He backed up a little bit to get some line of sight onto his scions. He tried to advance up to his bros up there, but rolled a 1 and wasn't going to get anywhere near them, so he's going to stay back over this side. Intercessors moved up. These guys moved into line of sight. They moved up over here, looking to get a charge off over there. And then back over here, these guys are raising the banners on objective number 4. So that's going to be it for... Oh, and these guys stayed in combat, of course. So that's going to be it for the movement phase here. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, these guys are going to now fire their heavy bolt pistols into his Leman Russ. Hitting on 2s, because they did not move. That's going to be all hits. Wounding on, is it 5s or 6s? I need to look this up if it makes a difference. It doesn't make a difference. I only got the 1. It's definitely not 4s. So that's going to be AP minus 1, I believe. Which becomes AP 0. He's good. It's into the Leman Russ. All right, so now these guys, my intercessors are going to fire into his Krieg over here. 2 of them are in rapid fire range. 2 of them can see. The last one can't. So this is going to be hitting on hitting on 3s. Okay, that's going to be 2 misses. Strength 4, looking for 3s to wound. That's going to be 4 wounds at AP -2. So is that 6 up saves? Because wait, are they base 4 or 5?
They're base 4.
They're base 4?
Scions are base 4.
Scions are base 4. So 6 up saves on them? No, so that's going to be 4 dead Scions. Now the heavy intercessors are going to do the same. We'll go with the heavy bolter first. They did move a bit. So it's going to be hitting on 4s. That's going to be 2 hits. Looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 1 wound. AP -1. That's going to be a dead guy. And then the heavy bolt rifle. Not getting any hits. All right. And now my impulsor is going to fire storm bolters into the Scions over there. Hitting on 3s. Rerolling. No, it's not a core. So these are now going to be wounding on 3s. That is going to be 4 wounds at AP -1 because of tactical doctrine.
2 fast.
2 more dead over here. Lazarus is going to fire his bolt pistol into them as well. Not going to get a hit. All right, Lazarus over here is going to charge into his infantry unit over here, Kriegman. So these are going to be looking for my charge distance. 6 inches will get me in. Now my assault intercessors are going to charge into his dude bros over here, his Scions. He is going to spend a CP to Overwatch here. So we're going to go with the las guns first. Hitting on 6s. That's going to be an auto wound.
And with another hit because they get...
With another hit because, yep, I forgot about that.
And that wounds.
That does wound. So that's going to be 2 saves here. Failing one of them, so one will take 1 wound. Then the plasma is going to supercharge. There's only 1 plasma guy in there.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well...
None of them hit, so it's all good. Yeah, failed everything, we're good. No harm, no foul. And then the 2 melty guns. Getting 1 hit. Oh, that's right. There's 2 wounds over there. AP -4 becomes AP -3, plus cover becomes 5 up saves. Making 1, failing 1, so 1 will be dead. They need a 7-inch charge to get in, and they'll be in with an 8. All right, so Lazarus is going to start us off over here. He's going to attack into the infantry there. I've got 6 attacks on the charge here, hitting on 2s. That's going to be all hits. Would be strength 6, would be wounding on 2s, but Krieg have a special ability to have like a mini transhuman, so I can only wound on 3s. Did not make a difference this time. That's just going to be 6 dead because it's AP minus a bunch. So 6 dead trooper. My assault intercessors are going to charge in over here. They are going to be hitting on 3s. 17 attacks coming in here. That was not great. Well, not great at all. All right. And wounding on 3s. Okay. Continuing with the great time here. 4! AP -1.
5 ups.
6 ups, right?
No, 5 ups.
They're 4 base? Oh, they're 4 up armor. Not 3 up? Okay. Oh, there we go. So it's going to be 3 dead guys.
What do you mean not?
Now the Scions are going to punch back over here. Hitting on 4s.
It's either or, but I didn't roll any 3s.
There we go.
And
then 1 wound there. And I don't make the save. All right. Fair. Then we got the 1 infantry dude over here into Lazarus. That is a hit. That's not a wound. And then we've got the full 6 attacks from the Lehman Russ into him over there. 6s. Getting 1. That is a wound. Lazarus. He's good with the filth face. All right, so that's going to be the end of the Dark Angel's turn here. We do have... oh, no, I forgot. We have over here. So why don't you do your tank into me over here, and then I can attack into you. So.
At what? D6 now still?
Yes. So 4 hits. Or 4 attacks.
I'll take
6s.
4 hits.
Nothing there, and we'll come back to you with my attacks. Oops, my bad. All right, so here we go. My attacks into his tank. Hitting on 2s because they did not move in the movement phase. I'm not going to spend the CP on this one yet. These are going to be wounding on 5s. We've got just the 2. Oh, buddy. Okay, we got the 2 wounds into him over there.
4 ups.
4 ups. Makes 1, fails 1. 2 damage. All right, so now we have leadership test to take here. Now we're into the morale phase. He has 2 guys over here. This squad over here lost They didn't lose 8. They lost 7, right? Because one guy was dead from himself.
Still need a 1 either way.
Okay, still needs a 1 on this one.
Nope.
Does not get it. And then on a 2 or a 1 or a 2, the other guy will run away. Nope. So one guy will be around. And then over here, this guy.
I need a 1.
Oh, he gets it, and he's around. There you go. And then this squad back over here, they lost, what was it, 4?
A 4 or less.
They lost 4. They have a leadership 8. They have leadership 8. Oh, wow. Okay.
Their scions are elites.
I didn't realize they had 8. That's cool. All righty. So that's going to be it for the leadership and the Dark Angel's turn here. So we will come back to you with the movement phase for Astra Militarum here on turn number 3. All right, so we're in the middle of the movement phase. I'm not going to show the movement phase, but this is an important thing that needed to get shown here. His unit here, he spent a CP to bring back D3 models back to it with because he had his medic still alive there. So he brought back D3, rolled a 6, got 3 models back. My opponent then, in the movement phase, that was in the command phase, decided to fall back with them onto this objective over here. I am going to spend 1 CB because I need them not to. There's 4 models now, which means that they would then control this objective because I have my guys here. So I'm going to spend the CP to try to cut them down. No one ever uses this. It got used on me once when I fell back with my Dark Apostle in a tournament, and it was just against Dante, and he sure enough rolled that 6 and killed me, which was all the model you needed. So I need to do this to try to get this to happen. So here we go. Oh, buddy, here we go. I need a fill face. If I see a fill face, it's going to be great. If I don't see a fill face, sad times, sad times. Here we go. Show me that fill face. No, I get the 5. You're still alive. Curses. All right, movement phase for the Astra Militarum here on turn number 3. His Vanquisher stayed in combat over here. This Vanquisher moved up over here. He was given Gunner's Kill on sight, the order. His Castellan, right? The Cadian Castellan over here moved up, as did his lone Scion with the melty gun over this side. These guys fell back, like I said, taking the objective now because there's 4 of them on the objective, and I've only got 3 models on the objective. We both got OBSEC on there. Over here, this Vanquisher was given Shock and Awe, giving him OBSEC again, so he's still holding that objective for those guys because still holding the objective there. He is also going to stay in combat here. This guy moved up. He's got Pound Them to Dust. Give him the order Pound Them to Dust. The Commissar moved up over here. These guys advanced up over here to stay within 6 inches of them. They advanced as well, but they were given the order, Perfectus order, which is by the Commissar, of Duty and Honor, which allows them to shoot. It allows them to do an action even if they advanced and fell back, and allows them to shoot and not fail in action. So the guys with the melty guns will be able to, the melty gun will be able to fire in there because he's got an assault weapon, so he should be good to go. Over here, these guys fell back from combat over there, not quite getting into the terrain over here, into this over here. The Doomhammer fell back, moved back a little bit just to get some line of sight onto my infiltrators. These guys stayed over here. And then the one guy over here advanced around over here so he can hide from my guys trying to shoot him. And that is going to be it for the movement phase. So we will come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so the Lehman, his Lehman Rust Demolisher over here is going to start us off in the shooting phase. So we're going to start with the Heavy Flamer into my dude bros over there. That's going to be 3 auto hits. That is going to be 3 wounds. There you go.
Chipping away.
Chipping away. AP -1 becomes AP 0, so 3 up saves. Failing 2, that's going to be a dead guy. Fair enough. And then we've got the Demolisher Cannon is going to go into my Assault Intercessors over there. 2 shots. Hitting on 6s, though, because he's the lowest profile, and -1 for heavy. No hits there. And now this Demolisher here is going to fire into my Intercessors. So we're going to go with the Heavy Flamer first. That's going to be 4 hits. That's going to be 3 wounds. AP -1 becomes 0, and then I'm going to put it on the one guy in cover first for 2 ups. He's good, and then he is good. And then the Demolisher is going to be D6 shots, but he's got Pound Him to Dust, right? So is that the one that like doubles it? Yeah.
So you're 10.
So it's going to count as 10, which means that it's going to be a minimum of 3.
Yep.
So D6. Okay, well 3 is what he got. That's the way it's meant to be. Okay. Hitting on just the one there. So that's going to be, oh yes, not an auto wound. So wounding on a 2. That is a wound though. AP minus 3 becomes AP minus 2. In cover, 4 up. Nope, he is dead. The one melted from this squad that can shoot now because of the order, or just because he's doing the action, but he can still do the order, is going to shoot into this guy over here, into my heavy intercessors. So looking for a 5 to hit. Nope, no hit there. And over here, his one guy with the melt is going to fire into my impulsor.
3s.
Hitting on a 3 because he's a scion. Nope, no hit there. And now his doom hammer over here is going to fire heavy bolters and las cannons into my infiltrators over there, and then he's going to put the magma cannon into my heavy infiltrators and heavy intercessors over here.
Heavy bolters, las cannons.
Heavy bolters, las cannons. Hitting on 4s because he does not. None of them are turret weapons.
I can reroll 1s though because he has gunners.
He does have gunner's hill on sight, so he's rerolling 1s, which is pretty good since all the las cannons doesn't and making a difference for the las cannons over there. But that's fine. But there's still a lot of heavy bolters that hit. That's pretty good. These are now strength 5, 1 auto wound there. Looking for 3s. Okay.
Better.
That's much better.
So 6, 7.
7 total wounds into me over there.
Yep.
Getting 7 dice. Looking for that roll. AP minus 1 becomes AP nothing, so looking for 3 up saves. Failing 2 of them. 1 of them will become 0 though because of the Helix Gauntlet, so 1 guy will die. The Magma Cannon, D6 plus 3 shots.
6.
9 shots coming in here. Pretty gross. These are going to be hitting on 3s because of the turret weapon.
With
rerolling 1s. Okay.
It's 2 auto.
2 auto wounds. And then these are wounded on 2s, right? Strength 10 at least?
Yes, that's all of them.
All wounds. AP, what is it again?
5.
5, that's right. They're dead. Dead. Field ordnance batteries are going to fire into those guys over there. So it's going to be a total of 8 shots coming in over here. These are going to be hitting on 4s because they're not turret weapons.
Nope.
Okay.
1 auto.
1 auto and 1 regular. Strength 7, so that's going to be a wound. So that's going to be 2 wounds here.
Minus 2 goes to minus 1.
Minus 2 goes to minus 1. So looking for 4 up saves. Making them both. Vanquisher is going to fire his main gun into my impulsor, and then he's going to fire the heavy bolters into my assault intercessors. So the assault intercessors get hit by these heavy bolters, hitting on 4s.
1 to reroll.
Reroll the 1. Okay, not meant to be. And then these are going to be looking for 3s to wound. Oh, there's another one. That's 6 is auto wound. Forgot about that. So that's going to be 3 total wounds. AP minus 1 becomes AP 0, so looking for 3 up saves. Failed 1 of them, so 1 of them will be dead. And the Vanquisher cannon shot.
3.
Hits on a 3. That's a hit with an auto wound. What's the AP?
5.
Is it 5? I thought the... 1 second. Yep, it's AP minus 5, so it's going to go straight through. So it's going to do 6 plus D3 wounds and then an additional D3 mortal wounds. So once you roll both D3s into him over here, so that's going to be 2 D3, and that's enough to kill him because that's going to be 5 plus 6 is 11. That's exactly how many wounds he had. So does he explode?
Please.
Does not. Here we go. And now he's going to fire everything into Lazarus because this Vanquisher gun is not blast. So these are going to be hitting on 5s and 4. Right? Or are you just doing the heavy bolters first? Okay, heavy bolters first. So these are hitting on 5s. Not that 4 that's in there. 6 is auto wound. And these are wounded on 3s. That's going to be 2 additional. So it's going to be 4 total. AP minus 1 becomes AP 0. So 2 up saves. I think it's 2 up, maybe 3. Let me just double check on that one. Yeah, he's got a 3 up armor save, so that's going to be 2 fails there. But now we've got the Vanquisher gun here. This is going to be hitting on a 4 because of it being a turret weapon. So minus 1 because of heavy, but plus 1 because of turret. So 4 plus. 4 does hit. 2s to wound. That is a wound. Ignores invul saves. He's dead. All right, so now my Blade Guard veterans over here are going to start us off into the fight phase because he's not going to charge anyone over here. So we're just going to go over here. These are going to be 10 attacks coming in here, hitting on 2s because I did not move in the last movement phase. Alrighty. These, and I did spend 1 CP for Gene Rot Might, so those 2 6s auto wound there. These are looking for 5s to wound. Getting an additional 2, so it's a total of 4 at AP minus 4 now because it's the Assault Doctrine. So these are going to be looking for 5s. Making 2 of them, but that's still going to be enough damage to kill it. Does it explode? It does. I can't see. No, it does not. All right. And that's going to be it for the Astra Militarum turn. It's looking pretty good for the Astra Militarum, not going to lie. So we'll see how this goes with the Dark Angels turn here on turn number 3. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn number 3. My Blade Guard Ancients moving up over here. These guys are right back over here, stay where they were. May as well just get an extra to hit. These guys just kind of moved up around here, looking onto these guys. Blade Guard Veteran moving up around this way. And then my Infiltrators are staying over there on the objective, looking over that way. That's it. That's all I got left. So that's what I've got going on. So that's going to be movement phase. We'll come back to the shooting phase. Heavy bolt pistols from the Assault Intercessors into his Deathcore Krieg over there. Hitting on 3s. That's going to be 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. That's going to be 2 wounds. AP minus 2 because of it being the Assault Doctrine.
Oh, never mind. That's just 2 dead.
That's going to be 2 dead Kriegsmen. And then we've got the Intercessors are going to fire into them as well. Hitting on 3s. Pretty good. That's another 2 there. Wounding on 3s. Oh, buddy. That's not good. 2 at AP minus 1.
6s.
Failed both. And then these guys with their heavy bolt pistols are going to fire into them as well. They're going to get 3 hits. They're going to get just the 1 wound, AP minus 2 though. So that's just going to kill another guy. And the medipack for the first one would have been 5, so we're just going to leave that at that. All right, my Blade Guard Ancient is going to fire into his into this guy over here. That guardsman there. Oh, that's Scion. That's going to be a hit. That is not going to be a wound.
Sorry.
I'm going to actually spend a CP to reroll that. Into a wound. That's AP minus 2. So looking for a 6-up save. No, he's dead. These guys are going to fire into his Krieg over there. Hitting on 2s because they did not move. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 3 wounds into them. AP minus 1. But in cover, so 5-ups. 1 will be okay, 2 will dead. And then these guys are going to fire into the Scions over there. Hitting on 3s. That 6 is an auto wound though. That's going to be 2 wounds into them. AP nothing. Make 1, fail 1. My dude bro over here is going to charge into his Castellan. He'll be in with a 7. And these guys over here are going to charge into them. They will be in. All right, so my opponent's going to spend 1 CP on Vicious Traps. He doesn't get pluses because he for different things. You have it like for having Meltamides. You also get it for being Catachan. But essentially what happens is you have to have an infantry unit that's wholly within a terrain feature. When they get into engagement range, you roll a D6. On a 2 through 5, it does D3 mortal wounds. And on a 6, it does 2 D3 mortal wounds. So here we go. That's going to do D3 mortal wounds. Doing 3 mortal wounds. Kills a guy and leaves 1 guy on 1 wound. And now my Assault Intercessors are going to charge in. They'll be in, as will my regular Intercessors. 3, they're still going to be in. Everybody's in. We got it. Feast and famine, but everybody's in. And now my Blade Guard are going to charge into the Lehman Russ and into the Commissar. They're going to be in with 7.
Plasma.
And then my Infiltrators are going to charge into his Scions over here. He is going to spend a CP to Overwatch. So what are you going to do first?
Plasma.
Plasma, are you going to supercharge?
Super.
Supercharging?
Nothing.
Nothing there. Then we got the 2 Meltas. No hits there.
And
how many guns left otherwise?
Just 1 Hotshot Las and 1 Las pistol.
Okay, there we go. Las weapons. No hits there. Their charge distance is going to be in with a 7. All right, so my Assault Intercessors over here are going to fight into his guys over there. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Okay, dokie. Now they're going to be wounding on 3s. AP minus 2. So that is going to be 4 into those guys over there. There we go. All right, so here comes the Intercessors. We're going to go with the Sergeant who has a Thunderhammer. Hitting on 4s, so that's going to be 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, though, because they are Krieg. Yeah, there we go. Now they're dead. And now my infiltrators are going to go over there. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 5 wounds at AP -1 because of the Assault Doctrine.
5s.
5s? Ooh, not bad. Wow, 1 dead. Oof. Killer. All right, so now my Blade Guard veterans are going to attack. My sergeant's going to go into the Commissar. Everyone else is going to go into the Leman Russ. We'll do the ones into the Commissar first. I did spend 1 CP on Gene Wrought Might, so these are going to be hitting on 3s. All right, that's 2 6s auto wound there. These are now going to be wounding on 3s. That's going to be 5 wounds into him. AP -4, but he has a 5-up invul save. No, 2 damage each. He is going to be dead. And then we have the 8 attacks into his Leman Russ over here. Hitting on 3s. Those 2 6s are auto wounds, and then wounding on 5s. That's going to be an additional 1. So 3 at AP -4, which becomes AP -3, so 5-ups. No, 6 damage into him over here. All right, so now my Blade Guard Ancient's going to attack into his Castellan. 5 attacks hitting on 2s. That's going to be all hits. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 3 wounds. AP -1 because of the Assault Doctrine.
5-ups.
5-ups. Failed all of them, so he's going to take 3 wounds. And then my Sergeant back over here is going to attack. He's got a chain sword, so it's going to be 5 attacks hitting on 3s. That is going to be 4 hits. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 2 at AP -2. That's going to go straight through and just kill 2 more guys. And his 1 guy that's left over here is going to fight back. That's not a hit. Or is it a hit? It is a hit. It is a hit. Sorry. But a 4 is not going to wound. Then we've got the Castellan, right? Let's do him.
Yeah.
May as well. Over here.
Doing stuff.
Yeah.
4 attacks.
He's going to have 4 attacks here. These are going to be hitting on 3s, I think, maybe? Or 4s.
I don't know. Never thought you'd get in melee combat. It is in 3s.
On 3s. That's going to be 2 hits.
And it's just a
1 wound there. On a 4-up, he is good to go. Never mind, he's got a power sword, so I did take a wound there. Okay. Then the Leman Russ is going to attack. Getting no hits there. And then Leman Russ over here, still in top profile. Does get 1 hit. Does get a wound. Yes. And that's going to be a save, though. And then those guys back over there. We'll get their attacks in.
So you with a chain sword, and then 3 more. So 6 total.
6 total.
Hitting on 3s.
And on 3s because they're scions.
1.
1 wound. And I'm good with a film face. All right, so we've got a couple leadership tests to take over here. This guy lost 3 of his pals there. He's got a leadership 6. On a 2, he's good to go. And then back over here on a 6, they will fail. No, they're good to go as well. All right, so that's going to be it for the Dark Angels. We will come back to you. Give me a second. Let me see what's happening. Alrighty, that's we're actually going to call it here because at this point I'm so far down in points. I think it was at the end of we kind of looked at what was possibly going to happen and being even generous at the end of my turn 4. So this next round here, the score would be 68 to 46 to the Astra Militarum, and I don't think I would have like any models left on the table. So it would be kind of a boring turn to go in there. We might get 1 more turn of him blowing things up with his tanks, but that's about as interesting as this turn's going to get. So we're just going to call it here. But yeah, a stunning victory for the Astra Militarum here, debuting their brand new codex. They've got some really sweet rules. I think they've got some really cool things that they've got going for them. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out as we continue on into seeing how more and better things happen. We'll see if they actually get the Armor of Contempt for their vehicles. We'll see if they get the no -2 shooting things that you can't see, that like don't require line of sight. All those things are still up in the air. We've got to see what James Workshop tells us to do with them, and we'll just wait to hear what they have to say. But a ton of fun. It was awesome to see that army doing well. as much as it pains me to take my my Dark Angels here off the table one by one, or fistful by fistful, as the case may be, it was still interesting to see. So, I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek. As always, my opponent's been Jason. Until next time, stay safe and have fun.